What's up, guys? I'm here at State Farm Stadium, home of the Arizona Cardinals, for something a little different. GMC has invited me out to check out and test drive the brand new Hummer EV, the electric Hummer. I've seen some videos, some clips of this, some photos. The thing looks sick. I'm really stoked to not only get up and close and personal with it, but actually get inside one. And there's a course out here in front of me. I don't even know what to expect. I see some of the Hummers over here. There's like a rock dirt course over here. We're gonna check this out. Pretty stoked. So stay tuned. And here we are, guys, the great lawn, which is now being renovated and changed into something completely different. There's a big building back there with a big patio, and it looks sick. It's been years since I've been here for a Cardinals game, let alone be here for an event. They've got all these Hummer EVs set up with all these different backdrops and breaking them down. There's a course over here we're gonna go to in a minute and actually get to drive one of these. But this is the first one right here as we walk up, the new Hummer EV. Check this out. And here it is. This is the fully decked out. This is like every option, every package you can get. This thing is fully kitted. I guess if you're an extreme off-roader, having 2 extra tires makes sense. Look at this interior. Ooh, nice. Current range, got a percentage on battery, I'm assuming. Look at this. Oh, so sick. Now I just want to know what's upgrade and what's standard. I want to see like a standard edition, because you see something like this with all the upgrades, you're like, I want it all. I want it all. Okay, this is pretty badass. I love the way this thing feels. Like, you know, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", right? So like, and I've been in the new Broncos, and it kind of has that same kind of boxy feeling, right? Like a Jeep. But I like this. I like this a lot. This feels good. I could see myself in this. No joke. It's got the panels. Everything's modular, so it all comes out. Back window drops down. Look at this giant display right here, right through the steering wheel. So as you're driving, you're looking through the steering wheel of this display. So one widescreen there, one widescreen here. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Bam. Google Maps, Google Assist built in. Looks like it's running like some kind of Android platform. I like the white. Probably get dirty, but it looks clean. Looks like you can get a safe. Some kind of like lockbox there. Cigarette lighter for old school charging. We've got a USB-C, an A there. That's a base for your phone. Put your phone right there. Back seat, lots of room for more adults. You got more charging ports back here. Temp control, looks like, yeah, another spot for phone or whatnot. More charging under there. All right, now we're over at the Bose Center here, and this looks more like a normal Hummer without all the upgrades and all the fancy stuff. More of a base model. Let's see if we can see the differences. The hood, the wheels, the lights, back accessories.
How's it going? I'm Phil Minnick from Bose, acoustic systems engineer. And right here we got the all-new Hummer EV featuring Bose's Premium Series 14 speaker audio system. Another key feature for this guy is the EVSE, for electric vehicle sound enhancement. It's a first of a new technology for Bose. And yeah, it creates a more engaging experience for the driver, and it'll change based on everything else that the vehicle's doing with the suspension and steering and everything, but it adds a layer of engagement starting from normal to terrain to off-road to the classic watts to freedom. So as you go through those modes, you'll hear more progression and more kind of exciting low frequency rumble, and to deliver like a more powerful sort of experience to the driver. So we got a custom-made 10-liter bass box just for this Hummer, so that'll give you a lot of the low frequency punch for listening to music and engaging that EVSE technology, combined with some high-powered 6x9 speakers in the front and Got 4 2.5 inches corner IPs and rear surrounds, 3.5 inch center channel, tweeters for the front and rear seats.
And here we have the underbelly.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
So what you're looking at is, aside from just the chassis, is a lot of the key components that make up the Hummer EV propulsion system. And in particular, this is what we would call the front drive unit. And inside of this is the permanent magnet motor. This is an inverter. Well, it's the enclosure for an inverter. There's also gears inside of here and shafts. And then they feed the axle shafts that drive the wheels. And similarly in the rear, the same motor and inverter is used 2 times in one drive unit. It's one assembly. And the gear set is independent between the two. So the motor and inverter drive one gear set to a wheel, and then totally independently another gear set drives to this wheel. That allows us to do like torque vectoring and so on and so forth. And then in the middle here is a high voltage battery. It's a 24 module battery. Each module has 24 cells in it. And this is kind of this is like the heart of the propulsion system, I would say.
So what these are custom boxes for each target top, so that when you take off all 4, they all store nice and neat in here, and you still have the full usage of the bed, back seat.
All right, so I guys got done talking to Brian, who was one of the lead designers for the Hummer EV, and he kind of told me about some of these Easter eggs I had to share with you guys. First of all, the speakers. So the speakers, and even the floor design and the hood design, is actually the Sea of Tranquility on the moon, and that right there is Lance Armstrong's foot. It's showing the topical view of the moon. It's all throughout the truck, including this bronze here. This is like that NASA bronze they used on the first EV vehicle, which, by the way, I didn't know this. I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, but GM actually built the first like Land Rover on the moon. First electric vehicle on the moon was made by GM. So this is kind of like a payback, like an homage to the moon and to the moon exploration and to the future, right? And so he was talking about how, like, they literally, when they started talking about the concept of this truck, it was like a moonshot, right? Like that, like, pun intended. And so there's all this, like, the subtle detail and like throwbacks to their partnership with NASA and the old Hummers. He mentioned a couple things also, trying to like go back to this brand of Hummer and what the Hummer brand represented. That footprint is also right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if I can get the camera down here. Right there. There's another footprint right there. Lance Armstrong. That bronze color is all over. Right? We got American flag detail right here and one on the other side. That bronze color package on the D-rings. The lights, I don't know if you can kind of tell, it's got that like H, right? And this is all like super dense, thick acrylic. When the lights turn on, there's just like this incredible depth to it. And like I said, on the hood here, another topical graph of the Sea of Tranquility. And then this light bar here, right? Going back to the old Hummer in the grill, it's actually individual. It's one big piece of acrylic that bends down, and then this is just, the cover on the front, but this thing lights up individually. It's so gnarly looking. All right, I think that's it for the showrooms. Let's go across the street to the course and actually get inside one of these to ride.
Just to give you a little preview.
So I'm gonna actually put it back into its original mode here. So I'm doing that right now, and then I'm gonna enter Watts to Freedom. Let's double press of this switch. Get this video and audio kind of graphics. So I also acknowledge on here with the button press that I'm entering the mode, that I want to enter the mode. We want to be this very deliberate action to get into this mode because you are unlocking additional power. Once I acknowledge that, so the vehicle will lower about 3.5 inches, 90 millimeters from curb. We are at the same time optimizing temperatures of the battery, the drive units, and all the power electronics that control all of that. And then once those three things have all been met, we'll get this armed message that pops up that says we're ready to go now. So if I press the brake just a little bit harder, you can see it's following what I'm doing with the brake pedal. So I'll push the brake harder, harder, harder. Now it tells me to floor it. So my left foot's on the brake, my right foot starts ramping in. You can hear the drive unit sounds really cranking up, and my seat is vibrating right now. Which
Really?
in a second, yeah. And then I look for this little blinking light over here. Once I see that, I know I'm ready to launch this thing. So if you're good, we can launch.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
That's a roller coaster. That's Universal Studios roller coaster right there. Holy crap. Okay, wait. So that's called Watts to Freedom.
Yep.
What is the practical use of that?
Honestly, drag strip, certainly, right? You can get your really fun 0 to 60. It's the whole experience of getting into it. It's more than just a launch mode.
Yeah.
We're really trying to appeal to a bunch of senses, just get you excited about what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you can actually stay in the mode if you want. You won't necessarily get all the full power until you stop and do the brake and the throttle, but you do get that lowered stance, you get the firm suspension, everything kind of feels sporty. It's a fun mode to be in as well. And then on the screen here, we're looking for this circle to close. When that circle closes, that means I've held on to the button long enough. Again, we want this to be a deliberate action to get into this feature, because you're going to be steering with the rears in phase with the fronts, and it's a weird feeling. So I'm just going to creep forward here a mile or two an hour, and I'm going to turn the steering wheel about 180 degrees back and forth.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
And when you do that, we're actually turning the angle of the tires, all 4 of them, up to 10 degrees. And you can kind of sense we're pointed forward, but we're moving sideways.
Yeah.
And then if I want to actually dial in some more steering, I can actually dog track this thing. So we're pointing this way, but we're driving this way.
Yeah.
So we're currently in off-road mode, which you can see here, the drive mode selection, as well as this little off-road mountain road that we've got up here. So those are your 2 drive mode indicators. This is the off-road app, which has a number of different features that can kind of tell you a little bit more about your vehicle while you're off-road, or while you're on-road if you like. So we got drift angle. This has to do with the traction at each corner. Pitch and roll, suspension articulation, locker status, tire pressure, compass elevation, axle torque, and ride height. So we're currently in increased ride height. That gives us just a little more room to get over some of these obstacles that we've got. How you get to off-road, you use this dial right here. Rotating it takes you through the different drive modes. So it'll go to terrain, tow haul, normal, my mode, which allows you to personalize, and then off-road, which is again the little mountain road.
And we go from the moon to Mars.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
So we've come to our first obstacle. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my camera on. Oops. And I'm gonna use the trail cams. So this just shows your front view, and this is the view of your front tires. And I'm gonna click it again, and there's your front tires and your rear tires. If you go to the single view, you can clean your camera. It's kind of a fun one. But if you think about it, first time you go through a mud puddle, your cameras would be useless without something like that.
Yeah.
So, cameras are a huge enabler for off-road mobility in this vehicle. You might look at it from the outside and think that thing is huge, but it navigates off-road trails in Moab super well. We've been out there a couple times for development, which is honestly a dream come true as an engineer.
Absolutely.
So now I'm going to go into low, which is just a different pedal mapping. You can see that I'm in low here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what that does is imitates like a lower gear in a conventional vehicle, but it enables more regen. When you tip out, it'll decelerate you faster. My reason that this is part of the app is my favorite, because you can see the suspension articulation as you go over these, whoops.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And these are 4-corner airbag suspensions, active suspension, so it's responding to the road as you're driving.
terrain mode is the technical rock crawling mode. So this is any conventional off-road vehicle, you're probably going to be in 4 low, you be left foot braking, and that's how you kind of crawl over logs and rocks, and you also descend safely over those. In this truck, being full-time all-wheel drive and electric motors with no transmission to transfer cases, we don't have a 4 low, and which would leave you with left foot braking. But we don't want you to do that either. So this, what we effectively do is we use the same, say, driver logic, muscle memory of the EV one pedal drive. So again, EV one pedal drive, that's all in the electric motors. That's the regenerative capability to slow and stop the vehicle, all with your right foot. We use that same logic of controlling everything with the right foot, but now we supplement it with the mechanical brakes. And what that does is that gives you a much more precise, sometimes more aggressive stop. Because sometimes you're coming over a ledge or a rock and you want to stop. You don't want to slide off it and smack all of your underbody protection. And so I'll just kind of demonstrate it as we go driving. So as I drive forward, again, this is all going to be with my right foot on the accelerator pedal or off it. I'm not touching the brake pedal at all. If I come off, the truck will slow down. That's a gradual stop.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if I shift to low, so again, if I just downshift to the low range, what we'll do here is when I come off, it really grabs you. Effectively, it's as if I jumped on the brake with my left foot or my right foot, and you can still left foot brake. There are off-roaders who they swear by it. That's what they want to do, and you can do that. You can actually, as long as I'm on the brake pedal. So say here I want to slow down, I'm riding the brake pedal and then I come off it. That's all me controlling it with my foot on the brake.
Okay.
You can do that all day long. From a driver workload and fatigue standpoint, one pedal's easier.
Absolutely.
You effectively train your right foot how to smoothly and gradually apply. So see, I'm coming around here, maybe I want to just kind of stop for a second, take a look. That's just all with one foot. But in terrain mode, we overgain the rear axle, so it actually gets to its max travel faster than any of the other modes. So think of it this way: every percentage of input I do here, it's 20% faster. It's a 1 to 1.2 ratio. So actually what that gives you is almost this forklift sensation.
Yeah.
You won't really see it here because it's going slow, but on the trail, or what I could do is on the backside here, get up to a little speed, and you'll feel the sensation where the back end really swings and follows around. So you don't get that traditional truck issue where you feel like you're going to drag your bed across.
Yeah.
Which can cause a lot of anxiety to some drivers. I'll actually highlight some of the cameras here while we're talking. So 18 camera views. For this specific part of the course here, there's 2 cameras on the side mirrors, and they either look forward at the front tires, they look rearward at the back tires. That's how sometimes make sure your rear steering's on. And as we come around this obstacle here, there's a tree there, but that could be a sharp rock that I cut a tire on. I can almost use that to help me ride around and make sure I'm giving myself enough clearance. It's a 90. Most normal trucks, you kind of come out wide and swing it in. Here, you can effectively come right here. You can drive at that fence. I can see the fence line on the camera view. You can't see anything over the hood.
Yeah.
But I can actually drive at the fence to give me some clearance back. Maybe I want to tighten it up, and you can feel it just pivot around that rear axle. Four-wheel steering has the effect of shortening the wheelbase of the truck.
Yeah, for sure.
From a maneuverability standpoint.
Woo! What an experience. It got really windy and dusty. I'm sorry, my eyes. My eyes are all messed up right now because of just the amount of dust that's flying in here. But the Hummer EV is incredible. The technology in this thing, the fact that it's all electric, the fact that it's a Hummer. It's a Hummer. Like, at my age, we grew up, Hummers were like the manliest truck you could have, right? They're bringing it back. It's been like 10 years since we've had a Hummer, and man, I'm stoked. These things are awesome. I can't wait to start seeing them on the road. Big shout out to GMC for having me out. I appreciate it. Such a cool experience. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.